in those 4 years, I just sort of went into my shell. It wasn't me at all, right? Illness can put you in such a dark place. And yes, I would say I've never struggled with mental health, but boy, I struggled with mental health.
I still do suffer with mental health. I do suffer with depression, anxiety, social anxiety. And that depression went on and on and on and on for years and years. So it's in some really dark places. And that was before having a diagnosis.
I get the diagnosis of cancer, and I go through chemo, then emergency surgery, and then coming out of it. Loads of things that happened all at the same time, which trying to process all of that,
it's huge.
It broke me. It really did break me. I am existing, I'm not living.
But that won't last forever. No. Like, it's temporary. Right then, welcome back to episode 2 of Beyond the Pouch, Men's Health Takeover. And this week, we're going to be focusing on mental health and looking at not just how stoma surgery or diagnosis can impact you physically, but more importantly, how it's going to impact you mentally. And again, I've got some incredible people who are happy to have conversations with us today. We've got Keith, we've got Chris, we've got Mo, and we've got myself. And we're going to look at the general sort of struggles with mental health, the importance of why we need to talk about it, and then maybe some solutions and options that you can offer everybody else. So guys, good morning, get your tea in.
Good morning.
Done before.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yes.
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Bag's all right. I'm going to empty it again in a minute, but it's all good. Like, if we talk about mental health and we talk about this, like, what's been one of the biggest impacts for you on we've talked about your journeys and we've gone through those sorts of things, but what's like something that's really impacted you and your mental health on your journeys?
I start then, shall I?
As I'm looking at you, I guess it makes sense. Go on.
So, if you were to ask me about me and mental health.
Do you want me to ask you about you and mental
health? Well, yeah, you asked me about me and mental health.
What's your about mental health? Go on.
Well, I would say to you, I've never struggled with mental health.
Okay.
But I am totally wrong, because when I look back at my journey, before I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2008, I would say for the 4 years prior to that, my health was absolutely horrendous.
Physical and mental, or both?
Both.
Okay. Both.
And I didn't realise the mental health was bad. I knew the physical health was bad because I missed a lot of work.
Yeah.
So typical day, I would get up in the morning, have to be in work by 7:30. I would drive to the top of the road, soil myself, turn around, go back home, have a shower, chuck the clothes in a black bag ready to be washed. And then it's a case of, do you go to work or do you phone in sick? Yeah. And I always phoned in sick. So full credit to the factory I was working at the time, Cogent passenger seat, and they were brilliant. They gave me my own toilet with a key.
That's really good.
Yeah, it was fantastic. They looked after me right up to my operation. Yeah. But my point is, in those 4 years, I just sort of went into my shell. It wasn't me at all, right? I would come home from work and I would go to the bedroom. I would lay on the bed. If friends called, if family called, I found myself just not wanting to talk to people. I would just shut myself off and pretend I was worse than I was, which seems really bad now thinking back on it. I didn't understand what other people were doing. I was living then with my 3 stepchildren who were teenage, 8 years, and every little thing that people did upset me. And I was quite vocal about it. And I know I upset them. I do apologise. They know I have apologised many times. But it's illness. Illness can put you in such a dark place. And yes, I would say I've never struggled with mental health, but boy, I struggled with mental health.
Well, look,
I really did.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Because, like, seriously, like, we've spoken about this a few times, and you've gone, no, I've done not really, like, actually, it's not really affected me. But the fact that you've said that there,
it is straight. You just do not realise that mental health affects everybody, even when they think it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, even, like, to your point where you just said, like, you get back from work, you're tired, but that's mentally having a toll on you. And also, I don't want to have to deal with people because not just physically you could be exhausted, but
I
mentally
actually
you
made
could be
out
as
that
well.
I was worse than I was. Well,
Yeah.
I was pretty bad, but I made out I was worse than I was, just not to see people. Illness is a very dark place, guys.
Yeah,
really
it
is.
Look, thank you for sharing. I think that's the
No problem.
important thing. And on this episode particularly, there's going to be some like difficult topics, but like talking about it is what's going to be really important. And I'm going to just flip it around to you guys, because you've both again started to talk about it in other episodes. But
yeah, absolutely.
tell us.
My name's Chris. I suffer with mental health. I still do suffer with mental health. I do suffer with depression, anxiety, social anxiety. I've learned to live with it, and I've learned how to control it. I see the signs when it's coming, I can feel it, and I can make steps to change that now, which is really positive. And it's powerful that I recognise it myself, and I think I'm going into a depressive state here.
Yeah.
I need to take action because it affects so many people. It affects everyone around me. It'll affect people at work. So now I know it's coming, and I can feel it coming on. So I can deal with it.
Yeah, 100%.
But there were times when I didn't know how to deal with it. And I've suffered with mental health, depression, probably since childhood.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things in my childhood that were quite traumatic. And there wasn't really, I'm 50 years of age now.
You don't look
And
it.
back then, going back to when I was a kid, there wasn't really support for mental health. It wasn't recognised. I didn't recognise it myself, that I was suffering with mental health. I never became a recluse as such. I still went out and had good times, etc. But I had a very low tolerance of people
Yeah.
because of how I felt about myself. And that depression went on and on and on and on for years and years. I was in some really dark places. And that was before having a diagnosis.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking from childhood, but I've always believed I've had Crohn's since I was a child.
Yeah.
But I didn't get diagnosed well into adult life. So then I started getting ill, really ill. I was always ill from a kid, always having stomach issues. But then once sort of becoming an adult as such, that the illness got worse and it was really kind of taken over. And I hated me. So because I hated me, I hated everybody else.
Yeah.
And I'd shut people out. I'd be rude to people. And the illness was just progressively getting worse and worse. And I was in hospital countless times, having countless procedures. Again, still no one identifying what was wrong with me.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest thing, because I knew there was something wrong with me.
100%.
But the problem I had people around me. I had a very, very close family member that was telling me I was doing it to myself.
Yeah. Wow.
And this close family member paid a lot of money for me to go and see a top gastro consultant, top gastro consultant in the country. And he did some tests and he missed it.
Flipping it.
So when I came out of that private hospital, this person collected me and sat in the car, and she said, "This stops now.
Wow.
This stops. You're never talking about it again. There's nothing wrong with you. You're doing this to yourself."
That must have such a big impact on you.
It was devastating.
Yeah, like
Absolutely devastating. So that just spiraled my mental health. And I thought, to the point where I was thinking, am I making this up?
Well,
is my brain that powerful that it is making me bleed from my backside?
Yeah.
It is making me have diarrhea. It is causing me to lose bowel control and be in all this agony. So because of that one person, I completely questioned everything about myself.
Yeah.
And I started to think, well, I must be doing it. You know, the top gastro consultant in the country hasn't got it.
Yeah.
So, you know, the countless hospital visits with no diagnosis, of being accused of being a drug addict by hospital staff, saying to me, "What drugs are you on?" I'm like, "I'm not on any drugs."
Yeah.
"No, you are." "No, I'm not. Do blood tests."
Is that because you're in there, like abdominal pain, things like that?
And I was,
yeah.
you know, really, really, really thin.
Yeah.
Clothes would just hang off me. And I wouldn't look at myself in the mirror. I didn't look at myself in the mirror for, years.
Yeah.
I hated my body. I hated everything about it, which all that was doing was fueling that depression, fueling that part of my brain that was telling me, "You're worthless, Chris. You've got nothing to live for. Look at you. Your body's horrific. Your mind's horrific. You might as well just end your life." And that's where it got to, where I was suicidal.
Yeah.
I planned it. I knew how I was going to do it.
Wow.
And by this stage, I had Rachel. My son was born. Leah hadn't been born yet. It was just Nathan. And I was convinced they'd be better off without me.
Yeah.
Because all they've got is this shell of a man lying on a bed, constantly in pain, phoning in sick. Well, I used to force myself to go to work, and I'd collapse at work. And at the time, when I was a PC, my sergeant used to scrape me up off the floor and take me to the hospital. I'd walk into work and he'd be like, Chris, go home, have a look at yourself. But I would never look at myself.
Yeah, no, of course.
And, and then I had the loss of bowel control. I was at work, pooing myself. As a cop, that's really bad times when you're in someone's house and you're like, oh dear, I've just soiled myself sitting in somebody's house who's a victim of crime, who's going through a trauma. And they've got this cop sat opposite him that's just filled his pants. So again, that just kept fueling that mental health and that depression of, there's no point you being here.
So
just end your life.
Well, I was going to say, how did you, because look where you are now, right? And how have you, not strategies, but what started you on that process to understand your emotions that bit and then get the help you needed? It
kind of got to the point where I was even saying to Rachel, you need to leave me. Just leave. Just go away.
Is that because you felt so rubbish yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I hated myself. I hated myself. Sounds harsh. I hated the life I was in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the life in terms of Rachel and my kids and my good friends. It was, I just hated life because I hated myself so much. So I just think, well, why do you want to be with me? Why you just leave? And I said to Rachel one year before we were due to get married, and I was sat in the bath and I just said to her, I don't want you in my life anymore. Go away. Wow. Just leave. Go away. I don't want you.
How did she take that?
She was very cool. And she knew it. She knew the depressive kind of state I was in.
Right, okay.
So she gave me a bit of space. She said, I'll leave you for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then she came back and she said, right, you're getting counselling. We're going to get you help.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm not leaving you. Yeah. And I never wanted her to leave me. Of course I didn't.
Yeah,
I said that. I said, I don't want us to split up. We did postpone the wedding to the following year. Yeah. That was the absolutely right thing to do.
I was going to say, it sounds like it.
Absolutely was, because I was not in a good place. And so I got some counselling. And that really helped. And that was when I finally started to realise I can talk about these things. And counselling, I'm a big advocate of counselling, but I always say to people, the first 2 or 3 sessions are brutal.
Yeah.
Because you've got to dig deep. Yeah. And you've got to tell a stranger what's in there.
Yeah.
And it took me a couple of counsellors to find the right counsellor that worked for me, because your counsellor's not always going to be the right one for you.
Yeah, 100%.
But you've got to make that step of, okay, this counsellor's not working for me, I need to try another one, rather than give up. Yeah. Because giving up would have been really easy. And it was on one of those counselling sessions, one of the early ones, where I came out of it and I felt exhausted. And I didn't feel positive about that counselling session. And that was when I nearly went through with one of my plans to commit suicide. I won't go to the ins and outs of what I was going to do, but something just flashed in my mind when I was thinking, right, I'm going to go and do this, that just said, Chris, not now. Don't do this. Obviously, I didn't. And that realisation of thinking I was on the edge of committing suicide. Yeah. Wow. I can never be in that position again. No. Never. So again, that was another driver for me to get some help and start talking. So I'd open up a lot more to Rachel. Yeah. Rachel would come along to some of my counselling sessions. This was putting a huge amount on Rachel. A huge amount. To the point where then Rachel needed counselling to get over what I was releasing. Yeah. I had a very there's lots of my childhood that are amazing, but there's lots of it that was really traumatic, which probably kind of aided the Crohn's, really. Yeah. The stress was probably making the Crohn's worse.
100%.
And there were a lot of things in my childhood that were just so stressful. Yeah. And that was just contributing towards probably the Crohn's, contributing to my mental health. I was made to feel worthless by that same person. So I never understood what a man should be. Yeah. And that I fought that for years. I'm a man. I'm supposed to be a man, but I feel like this. I can't talk about this because I'm a man. Yeah. And I didn't have a father figure. So I didn't know what a man should be. Yeah, so I was always fighting that as well. What's my role in life here? And I just didn't think I had one. It was just got to that point where I thought, there is no role for me on this earth. But it's Rachel.
It's all good.
She kept me alive.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And we're so glad.
If
Yeah,
it wasn't for
100% we are
Rachel,
so glad.
and I've said this, time and time again, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
That is a fact. But she just kept, just very gently, you need help. But, she wasn't forceful with it, just... So I did, and with that, and then once I started counselling, it was like a light bulb, really. But so then I was learning to manage depression, but I still had all these health problems, and I had no diagnosis.
Yeah, 100%.
And I was thinking, I'm kind of recognising I've got mental health, but now I'm fighting this other problem of there's something wrong with my body, and no one can tell me what it is.
Yeah.
So eventually, obviously it did, obviously lying in a hospital bed, I got told I had Crohn's. Yeah. So then that was a good moment. Whilst I got told in not the best circumstances, it was an amazing moment. So finally, I've got something I can cling on to here.
100%.
And I had that diagnosis. My health still got progressively worse, even though I was on medication. I was on biologics for 7 years, going to the hospital every 4 weeks for infliximab infusions. Did that for 7 years. The perianal fistulas were just ruined my backside. I had no bowel control whatsoever. And it got to that point where in the end I said to my surgeon, enough's enough. Just cut this out. Yeah. Just get it all out and give me a bag. And for me, that's when my mental health really changed. Yeah. Is when I had the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that changed my life. It gave me my life back. And I can generally do pretty much what I want. I've got other health issues going on that prevent me doing some things, but overall, my quality of life just massively improved, which then improved my mental health. Which then...
It's like a knock-on effect.
Yeah. And it was that kind of knock-on that then I thought, I need to share this. I need to help others, which is why I set up my YouTube channel.
I was going to say, again, that's such a powerful story. And I didn't really know in that much detail, what you've gone through and all those sorts of things. And I really hope that that encourages others. Do you know what I mean?
We absolutely have no idea what the person sitting opposite us is going through.
100%.
Don't judge anyone. You don't know what somebody's going through.
Just be kind, right? Do you know what I mean? And seriously, wow. I can't imagine not seeing you now. Do you know what I mean? Because I see you, you're really confident, you're very, you're openly talking about it.
Person.
Yeah, 100%.
Both of you, really.
It's crazy.
But that kind of was another person.
Yeah,
100%.
I was that other person. And now I think it was only really... I'll tell you what's actually really helped with body image. I had a horrendous body image because I was so thin. Again, I was bullied by one person about my body image. I hate this word. I was always told I was skinny. You're so skinny. You're disgusting. You're so skinny. So from a child, I had a body image problem.
Gosh.
And but what helped me get over that body image is, one, since having a stoma, because I put on more weight, I became a bit healthier. And then it was doing the get-togethers, where watching you and Jack that 5 odd years ago getting down to your boxes, and I was thinking, I can't do that now, but I'll do it the next year. And it was doing it the next year. It was getting down to my boxes. And now, like I said before, I'd walk into a room now, camera crew, I'll get my kit off.
I remember,
the camera crew aren't even there half the time.
I actually remember you messaging me after the get-together, because that was the first time we really met. Yeah. And I remember you saying about me and Jack
you're inspirational.
Being in the underwear, and I'm going to do it next year. And you did it next year, and now absolutely fantastic.
Now I do, since then, or since certainly getting down to my boxes, I now look at myself in the mirror. And I like brilliant. What I see.
That is brilliant.
That's so motivational. Really that's so inspiring. And for people who don't know what the get-togethers are, it's where, as ambassadors we get together and we, show people our stoma bags. We do some activities and things to help encourage others.
Lots of photo shoots.
And I've got to be honest, the first time I think I was there with you, one of the first times, and you were like, I'm not going to do it. And then you've done it ever since. And it's that journey you've been on. It's been really inspiring.
Bearing in mind, I said I suffer with depression, anxiety, social anxiety. When I first went to the first get-together, the fear I was going through on the drive down, the fear of walking into that hotel to meet people I've never met before. I mean, that was hugely out of my comfort zone.
There's some idiots there taking selfies.
TikTok's out there.
But how powerful that became for me, and how helpful. I still get social anxiety. Every get-together I've been to, I still get butterflies en route. But it's helped me, and it's helped me develop as a person.
It really has.
And again, like we said on the first podcast, this is what we need to do to inspire more men. This is exactly the right thing.
And to know that we're actually inspiring each other.
Exactly.
And we all do this anyway, but we're actually inspiring each other in our everyday lives. It's fantastic.
I was going to actually ask you, Mo, because you've done one meetup, I think, and like, you know, you've told us about your start of your journey and very difficult like circumstances in terms of like different diagnoses to what we've had. Like, how was all of that affected with your mental health? And
it's taken its toll. So prior to cancer, I was actually best shape of my life. My mental health was really good. I was reading all those self-help books, exercising, trying to do all the right things, and I was comfortable in my own skin, which I hadn't been for many years. And I had a real kind of health kick for 3 years prior to the diagnosis. And then COVID happened. Within that time, my father passed away. And then a couple of months later, I get the diagnosis of cancer, and I go through chemo, then emergency surgery, and then coming out of it, being diagnosed with chronic and severe nerve damage, now in a wheelchair to get around. There's loads of things that happened all at the same time, which trying to process all of that,
it's huge.
It broke me. It really did break me. You know, I was grieving my father's death. I was grieving the old me. I was trying to come to terms of who I am now, what that looks like in the future. And I think the hardest bit was where I got the diagnosis and I'm about to tell my children that I've got cancer, who've only just been introduced to the concept of death with their grandfather passing away, of which they had a really close relationship to. So that, how do I tell them, you know, and the possibility that they might lose me because I was diagnosed with advanced cancer. You know, with regards to chemo, they threw the kitchen sink at me. And then when I came out of surgery, I was experiencing these shooting pains up and down my right leg. I look to my left and I've got this bag attached to my abdomen. And I was like, when did that happen? I have no conscious knowing of
that was going to happen.
When we had that conversation, if it was going to happen. All I know is I was carted in the back of an ambulance, straight to surgery, and I just woke up in a room all by myself. And the consultant trying to tell me, right, this has happened, this is what we do. And within everything else that was spiraling in my head, his voice was just silence. It's like white noise. That's the only way I can describe it. So I had the stoma nurses coming down to have a look at the bag and going, right, this is how you change it. I had a neurologist come in and looking at my leg to figure out what's going on there. I had the physios trying to get me back on my feet. I had the nurses who were just washing me down. They just flipped me from one side to another on the bed. And I did get to the point, same as you, where I was thinking, why am I even here? You know, I am existing, I'm not living. And I used to watch, like, I'm an avid watcher of the Bake Off. And within the adverts, they have the stand-up for cancer. And I'll see these people and they'll be like GP Olympians and boys and girls who are probably starting to live their life, go to school, and they've passed away. I'm thinking, well, they had more to live for than I did, so why don't I should be taking their place? And I would say, in my own head, to go, I would give anything to swap. so they could carry on living, so I don't have to exist.
Yeah.
And it was difficult, and I started pushing people away because I didn't really understand what was going on. My surgeon, when I told him about the pains that I was experiencing in my leg, he was just saying, "Oh, you just walk it off."
It can't be that flippant, surely.
Was literally, he said, I've been told that you've been feeling a tickle in your feet and you'll just walk it off.
Oh.
So I'll get the physios, they'll teach you how to get back on your feet and that. I just couldn't bear any weight. I said, I can't even feel my toes.
Yeah.
And it took a chance visit for a doctor who was covering for my neurologist. And he came up from London Queen's Hospital, like the Centre of Neurology, and he did some tests, just physical examination, goes, I need to get you into London to figure out what's going on. Yeah. And it's only then, as an inpatient, he said, right, you've got severe nerve damage, there's damage during the surgery, I can see all the scarring in your abdomen, and there's no resolution, you're just going to have to put painkillers. So I've been on, oxycodone, gabapentin, duloxetine, opiates, painkillers, numbers, and they take a toll as well.
Yeah, 100%.
That's probably why you don't see me as much as before, because it is really, really difficult just to kind of try and stay awake and stay present. Yeah, 100%. And even amongst family, just talking about their day, my vision will blur, get double vision, I'll start to get drowsy. Yeah. And I'm just trying my damnedest to concentrate and follow the conversation.
I've got to say, again, I keep saying thank you, because I cannot say how important it is that all of you are chatting about this very openly, and your story is also just inspiration, a sense of where you are now. Yeah, you've gone through, and you're still battling things. We're all battling things, but all of those things and where you are now, I can't thank you for
I have
genuinely chatting about it.
Struggled with your mental health?
Not, to be honest, probably not as much. I've always just gone with it. Is probably the honest way. And even then, I don't know, health wise, it's probably more that I will probably think of it as I haven't had it as bad as others, so I won't talk about it as much. It's probably more my way of thinking about it.
Isn't that a way of hiding it?
Well, yeah. And I to be honest, I probably haven't reflected enough on it. I've probably moved too quickly through the motions to try and press on and get as positive and move things forward quickly, rather than sort of dwelling on it, which is probably something I need to go away and work on, probably look at myself, to be honest.
But I come across, as we all do, we come across people, and you say to them, "Oh, how are you?" And because they might have something wrong, but they say, "Oh, it's insignificant compared to what you've gone through, so I don't need to talk. I won't talk about it."
It's not a competition.
Exactly. I'm like, no, talk, because everything's relevant to the person. I'm like, no, tell me about it.
I'm asking about you. Don't ignore what I've said.
Exactly.
It matters. It really matters how you are.
Exactly.
I'm not asking you because I went, as I say, you won a competition. I want to know how you are, and that's why I'm asking you.
Exactly.
Because I was going to ask as well, because obviously we've all got bags here, bag bros, bag men, whatever. How did seeing a bag first time for you affect your mental health? Because yours was quite acute, right? Yours was, you had no idea.
Yeah.
I prepared. I had a plastic fake bag on for ages, so I mentally was getting used to it. What was it like when you started to see a bag and body image?
Well, when I had my stoma, I absolutely had no idea what an ostomy was. Yeah. This, as I say, is in 2012. They did measure me up for my stoma, which was great. They put a lovely big mark with a marker pen on me.
Sharpies, there you go.
Sharpie, yeah.
But just Sharpies run, they sponsor ostomies, don't they?
I think so, yeah. So it was great because I actually had it where I wanted it, and it's worked out perfect. Yeah. Absolutely perfect. So I had no idea what a stoma was. I remember being given a choice. I was given a choice to have a stoma and have my rectum taken away, my anus, taken away, and have not a Barbie butt, a Ken butt. We're in a room of men with a Ken butt.
Or an action man butt, whatever you want.
Action
Really,
man butt, yeah. But I remember being given the choice of that or an internal pouch. Right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I was given the two choices. I knew absolutely nothing about either. But where I was lucky, I was put in touch with a lovely guy who had a colostomy bag for about 40 years. And I actually went to his house and sat with him and his wife and had a cup of tea. And we talked about him and his bag and how he had a fantastic life. He worked on building sites. He went to the pub. Yeah. He just enjoyed life. And then I talked to a guy who had one of these internal pouches and he just drank shakes and didn't do much. And I just went, the bag. Yeah. And that was it. I had one operation, thankfully, one recovery. And I've accepted my stoma from day one because I was so ill for those 4 days. Yeah. Actually, having the bag and being well, it just totally changed my life before anything else. Yeah. And it brought the old teeth back because as you see me today, this has been me through my life. I've always been positive. I've always been upbeat.
Always taking selfies.
Always
I think you invented them, actually.
I think I invented selfies. I invented the TikTok selfie. Oh, right, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. But yeah, this is me. This is how I live my life every day. It's not like an actor who's doing that just for social media. This is me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then through those dark days, it wasn't me. Yeah. And then the bag enabled me to come back. Yeah.
And that's also then helped with the mental health side of things, as you were saying
absolutely.
earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you guys then with body image and bags and mental health?
Many years ago when I had my first surgery was a bowel resection surgery. And I knew nothing about ostomies back then. I had no idea, really. Yeah. I knew the word colostomy. I knew it existed. I knew, what it was, but I didn't really know much about them. So when I went in for this surgery, when my surgeon said, we need to get you into surgery ASAP, we need to open you up. And while she was talking me through it, a nurse was then drawing with the marker pen. Yeah. I said, what are you doing? Why are you drawing that big black dot?
Join the dots.
She said, oh, that's just where your stoma is going to be if you have to have one. I said, beg your pardon? I said, what do you mean a stoma? Yeah, I said, what's that? Well, I didn't have the stoma at that time. And I was like, well, hang on a minute, what are you talking about? Yeah. What's a stoma? They said, you might have to have a colostomy bag depending on how bad your intestines are.
So I'm just going to draw it on you now.
Yeah. So I was in panic. I was in absolute shock. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have a colostomy. I'm not ready for that. Yeah. I know nothing about these. And this is what I think is really difficult for people that have it as an emergency surgery.
Yeah.
So when I came round from that surgery, the first thing I did was put my hand down there. I was like, no bag. Thank goodness. But then years later, I'm like, give me a bag. I need a bag. So waking up from surgery when I made the choice, I said, I want the colostomy. I still put my hand down there. Yeah. It's like, there is a bag there. Yeah. And I thought, I've asked for this. Yeah. Now I'm feeling it. I'm not so sure. Yeah. So now I had a look. I was like, okay. And then it started working. I was like, because they give you a clear bag.
Yeah, they're massive clear bags, aren't they? Gosh. Yeah. Like rubbish bins are huge. Yeah. You're like, what's that?
and I was thinking, because this also fits in with the mental health side, I was thinking, this is my last hope here. Because if this doesn't work, what an awful choice this could have been. Yeah. Thankfully, it was the best decision I ever made. And my surgeon, she said to me, when she came round and saw me, she said, that was the best decision you've ever made to have that. She said, because once we opened you up properly, then we saw all your fistulas. She said, we were never going to stop those. Wow. No. She said, there was no way we could ever have got those under control.
Meant to be.
So she said, fistulas can still occur without, even after having Ken butt. She said, but very unlikely. I've never had one since. So, I chose to have it, but it was still a bit of a shock seeing it. But then I thought, right, I've asked for this. I'm getting into this and I'm going to learn and I'm going to do everything right. And I said straight away, can I change the bag myself? Yeah. First one, I said, I want to do that. And I said, I want to touch it. Yeah. I want to know what it feels like. I thought, I'm all in on this.
Brilliant.
I'm fully immersed into this. And thankfully, it was the best thing I ever did. And again, that helps my mental health.
Yeah.
And again, that led me to wanting to help others and doing YouTube and meeting you guys.
It's like, when you wake up after surgery and you see that though, like that's shocking because it's the size of a biscuit. It was huge, like this big purpley thing. I was like, no, I've seen ones online that are like, sorry, mate, can you come back and redo this? Like it should be like the strawberries, what it normally looks like, and then that's big, right? That's overwhelming. And then like it'll calm down, and you're like, why have you attached like a clear rubbish bag to me? Like, why is there so much coming out of it? And then you get neck ache because you're looking down at it all day, and you're like, wow, what did I eat? Like, that's cool.
And then you watch it moving.
Yeah.
It's like it is fascinating.
It's hilarious. I think it's fun. How did you find yours? Because you didn't elect for it. Was it discussed? Was it not discussed?
So when I was diagnosed, I saw the consultant, and they spoke about, what we need to do: shrink the tumour, cut it away, and then reattach you. You might need a bag.
Possibility. But okay, makes sense.
We'll cross that bridge if we come to it. But that was the only time that really spoke about it. I can't say whether it was spoken before surgery because I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was just rushed in. And I have to be honest, I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, I despised my stoma because I just saw it, the noise that it would make, the stench, the ruffling of the plastic, everything about it. And I could see it because I used to wear quite tailored clothing, and you could see it. It was obvious. Yeah. So I then bought a new wardrobe, and everything was like baggy loose fits, and and I put on an awful lot of weight because I was off my feet, and I was on these supplementary shakes.
They're all for them, aren't they?
Like, the calorific.
Oh, yeah. 4 million calories. And you're like, it tastes awful. Like, make it taste nice.
They do. And I was on them for months. And the idea was to just build up my strength. And I just had constant leaks, irritation around it. And I would go back to my stoma nurse and I would explain it again and again and again. And there wasn't really any kind of resolution up until I saw Keith online and Mary Jane. They spoke about Respond.
Yeah.
And then I went through their portal rather than the one that was prescribed to me. And then got introduced to different products, tried a couple of bags, I still do, and found the right one for me.
Yeah.
And suddenly that changed everything.
Okay.
Suddenly I became more confident about it. I was comfortable with it. I still get the occasional leak, but not as much because I'm using supplementary products. And I'm in a good space now.
That's great.
But the one thing that I do find very difficult is my body image.
Yeah.
Because whereas before I was fit, healthy, and I have to be honest, I often blame that maybe that I was too healthy, that maybe that caused the cancer. And I keep going back and forth going, what did I do before? Well, I ate salads. Okay, well, let's stick to pasta for a couple of months. And I was doing intermittent fasting and those sort of things. And there's still that relationship where I keep thinking, right, did I cause it? Was something done? What was going on? Because when I asked my parents about, was there any cancer in the family? And they're like, no, not that we know of. And it's like, what's the medical history in our family tree? And it probably goes back to my granddad. And then after that, there's just an unknown entity. Because, my family come from a little village up in the mountains of Kashmir. And, when they pass, they say, oh, well, that was God's decision. Let's just put him in the ground. That's what we'll write down on the paper. It was his time or her time. And that's it. So you never really did an autopsy to kind of go, well, what caused it? Why did they die? What age? And so we had none of that. So it's always difficult to kind of go, right, what caused it. I need to find some sort of relationship between it so I don't do it. It doesn't happen again. But it's also putting that on my children now to go, right, they've got a 50% likelihood that they may get cancer. And it's living with that guilt to go, well, it came from me. I gave that to them. And there's, I've got 2 children. So likelihood is one will get it, if not both. And that's the thing I really, really struggle with.
Yeah. Look, thank you for opening up with that. Like that must be quite a lot for you to actually deal with like constantly, like day to day as well, on top of everything else that's
what I really push for. Like when I look at, finding people like me, from an ethnic minority, to go, where are these people? Where is the information? Where is the focus groups, the surveys, the NHS? Do
you feel like you're getting that help? Like, do you
not
feel like
really.
you're finding
I think it's still an unknown entity. I think it's 2 parts really from the research that I've done. I think it's the community coming forward, and the NHS meeting them and going, right, let's do some surveys, let's do some screenings, let's really get into those communities. But they have tried, but people don't want to come forward because there's still that stigma to go, if you fall ill, then whatever that illness is contagious. It's
100%.
Some dark force has come and
so sad. Isn't it?
Well, also it might even be people's mental health side of things. I don't want to talk about it because I'm not well enough like mentally in myself to actually open up and talk about it. One thing I did want to ask, because again with all this, you've all gone through incredible journeys. We all have, and you've all said like points where you've then started to open up. Was there any men that you actually connected with who helped inspire you to have that conversation?
I did in the early days, and I mean in the early days, I think there was Facebook, possibly Twitter, X now, and Instagram. I did follow one guy, Blake Beckford.
Yes,
Beckford.
yes. Gosh.
He was the only one that I sort of saw who had a stoma, and he was a bodybuilder, and also, amazing guy. And I've followed him ever since, and he just gave me that thing, do you know what? We can do good. We can do good. I've got my stoma. I've got my platform. We can turn this into something.
Yeah.
And it was actually, everything started with me sharing my story. Because I remember Pelican Healthcare putting on, I think it was on Instagram, we want real life stories.
Yeah, 100%.
And I sent my real life story in and just went from there.
Oh,
I'm where I am today.
What a story. I had, it's limited, right? Like there's limited men out there. I remember a guy called, I'm going to still chat to him, a guy called Moeed, another Mo.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'll put him in contact with you. I will try to.
Lovely guy.
He is fantastic. He has a bag. And I remember, because I had IBD for so long, there was a few people I'd followed like who had IBD, but I was like, what's the best thing? Should I get a bag, should I not? And he encouraged me. He's like, it's the best thing you'll do. And that was something I found really interesting. And he was one guy. And then everyone else was women. Like there's a few other very inspirational people, but I remember sitting there going through my social media being like, there's just girls in bikinis, I'm gonna get in trouble here. Like I can't keep looking at these. My algorithm's gonna be like, here's another. But did you guys chat with any men or anything like that?
No, I didn't. I've got 2 really close male friends that have always been supportive for all the years. I didn't always share with them my mental health, but they went through the journeys of me constantly pooing myself, and we'd get through it with humour. But they were always supportive, and they always knew there was something wrong with me, so they were always supportive. But when it came to researching life with a stoma, I did go on the socials, YouTube and Instagram, but I never actually made contact with anybody. And this sounds harsh, but it's not meant to be this way. I didn't find them inspirational because that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for information. I wanted facts. I wanted answers to my questions about life with the stoma. So that's why I looked for men. But like you say, you get a lot of girls, women on social media. It's flooded. There's not enough men. So I was listening to the female's point of view as well. I thought it was always good to get the ladies' version. But it wasn't until I really started my own YouTube channel that I then started contacting other men. And then finding them inspirational.
Did they come to you, or did you?
Some did. Yeah, some did. Some came to me and said, like what you're doing. Do you want to do something together? And then that's when I started thinking, oh, these people are inspirational.
Yeah.
Because before I was just using them as an information point to get myself some
100%.
facts. So, I didn't use other men until I was quite happy with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, now I'm going to go and look for them, because I've got a different reason to look for them, because I'm out there doing the socials myself. I want to chat with other men that are doing it. So, I kind of used it a different way around, really.
Yeah, but look, it makes perfect sense. Again, we were saying the last couple of podcasts, process driven. I need to find answers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
From you and your side of things,
I saw Keith. I saw him on Instagram, and I was like, that's where I want to be. Someone that's comfortable in their body.
Oh, that's lovely. You actually contacted me, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
You contacted me about you coming to your first get-together.
Yeah, I reached out to respond, and they invited me.
And you asked me what was it really like.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then I actually met you. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It was.
So Keith was the catalyst.
Keith was.
Oh, wow.
And he still is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Stuff it all well up in a bit.
But there wasn't
Love
really
this.
anyone else that I feel that I kind of looked at. I didn't know of anyone else, because Keith was that portal, and I kind of used.
It's so fantastic that just means that what you're doing works.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not starting your Instagram on your social media for monetary value. It's that one person you help, right?
But we've become a little family, haven't we? We've become friends.
Yeah, 100%. We know we can just message each other about anything.
And that's what people should do. Just, I've always said, message me. Yeah. And, same with Kev, who's not here today. Yeah. He should be here. Kev, big shout out to Kev. Wish you well.
Kev.
I reach out to Kev, and certainly reaching out to him at the moment, because he's unwell. Miss you, Kev. But isn't it amazing that how we've all come together?
It is.
And we can just, we might not speak for months, but we can text each other and say, I'm having a bit of a rough time or whatever, and that support's there.
I always remember one of my mates saying that. We actually worked together, and then I went to his house, and I hadn't seen him for about 2 or 3 years. I just walked in, and he put the kettle on, and we were having a cup of tea, and it's like we saw each other yesterday.
100%.
And that's what we're like every year, aren't we? When we get together, it's like we only saw each other the day before.
We're Osto mates.
Osto mates.
Oh, I love it.
Great pun.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to, I'm going to ask one question before we sort of round this all off.
Yeah.
If you could look back and you could tell your younger self, before we had you said, or whilst you're having your diagnosis, etc., what one piece of advice would you give that person because you could see where you are now, if you're going to reflect back?
If I could look back and see where I am now, I'm going to say, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Love that.
Just be you, do you. But don't keep things to yourself. Involve others.
I love that.
The help is out there. Involve others.
Yeah, it's quite difficult because I look back and my life was quite tough. So to give, I don't think I could give myself one bit of advice. There'd have to be a book of advice to give myself.
What book advice would you title it then?
Oh, who knows? But there's so much. I'd love to go back and say, Chris, do this now. Don't accept that from that person. Push on with that. Be you. Make your own steps forward. 100%. Stop listening to the people that are trying to bring you down.
Yeah.
And just move away from them. It took me years to cut that person out of my life. And there were others. But cutting that person out of my life was a huge thing for me.
Yeah. Nobody needs negativity.
No.
Positivity breeds positivity. 100%.
Push on. Be
100%.
you. Do you. Get where you want to go. Definitely.
Fantastic.
I'm a firm believer that there are things that happen to you and they're there to teach you something.
100%.
And that
it's a good way of looking
you need to find what that lesson is.
Yeah.
And I would also, what I would recommend people doing is putting yourself out there. Because by showing the true you and offering yourself up in terms of a vulnerability side of things, it opens doors. You shouldn't shy away from, just because you can't see someone that represents you in any way. Once you put yourself out there, you become an inspiration. You become that portal, as Keith was to me. And just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Definitely.
I like, guys, honestly, seriously, you've hit all the nails on the head. I think the only other thing with it is, from my side, is like, you're in this bit now, but that won't last forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's
This too will
temporary.
pass.
And I think that's why with everything you've all shared today, like the real stories you've said about, you know, suicidal thoughts, ideations, and to where you are now, like that's so empowering. Because in other podcasts where we've talked about it, 4 out of 5 men, I think you said, like, are thinking that, like, some individuals maybe listen to it now in that space and see you both or us lot and go, oh, it's not going to end that way. It could end like this. I could go and do this.
Yeah.
But the first step is I need to just have a conversation.
Contact us. Please contact us.
Yeah,
you know,
just talk up about
you're
it.
not on your own. Contact us,
Yeah,
please.
100%.
And we're all open to that, aren't we?
Yeah,
We all say it.
yeah.
Messages,
Oh, yeah,
contact
genuinely,
us.
Yeah, we don't just say it. We mean it. You know,
I
we
was
mean
chatting
it.
to somebody the other day, and I had to use Google Translate, but I was trying my best to help them out.
And
But
then just before we wrap up, just want to go back to something you said earlier, Mo, about not wanting to exist and myself being suicidal. That's a really dark place, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
massively.
it's a real horrible place to be. It's so
imagine.
dark.
You feel you're on a ledge, and it could tip either way.
Yeah,
Wow.
And you're just looking for something
yeah,
to kind of topple you.
yeah. That's right. So when you're in that dark place, talk.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you both have, like really, really have, and you've
definitely.
said everything that you have today, because I really hope that'll inspire and help so many others.
I've never heard anybody talk about feeling like that about themselves. I know it goes on, but I've never actually talked to anyone or heard somebody say it. To hear you both, you're so brave to hear you say, talk about it. It's amazing.
You've done honestly, it's incredible. So thank you so much. And then,
Thank you.
Thank you all. So that's, to be honest, that's going to probably end our podcast today. Thank you both, all of us, I should say, for being here. Again, with all of this, like with stomas, IBDs, all these bits, it's not just the physical side, I think it's the mental side. So one takeaway for anyone listening to this is just start that conversation, reach out, and then that will start that journey to getting the help you need. So thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. We'll see you soon.
Can't wait.
Take care.